Akash is the host, not you. फालतू के सवाल पूछ रहे बीच में. आकाश पूछ, क्या पूछना है आज हमसे?
So, Kevin is struggling to understand some of the topics today. Don't worry, Kevin. I will guide you. I am a very good host.
ऐसी कमिटमेंट के साथ एपिसोड के 10 सेकंड पहले पूछ रहा है यार डेजर्ट है या डेजर्टेड है?
At the meeting, you could have asked this, but no. Instead, we did some.
मुझे आज तक समझ नहीं आया. हम वेडनेसडे की जो मीटिंग करते हैं इसमें हम डिसाइड तो कुछ काम का करते हैं नहीं और कोई फायदा तो पड़ता है नहीं इससे.
Don't worry, our audience will understand when they hear the topics today. It's some stupid topics we have, especially the last two, if we get to it.
मैं कसम से कह रहा हूँ मुझको एक भी टॉपिक अभी करंटली याद नहीं है.
This is the meeting. This is the preparation that goes. We all set good New Year resolutions in the last episode. Happy New Year, everyone. By the way,
Arnav didn't even show up to the meeting. वो आज तक एक भी मीटिंग में आया है Arnav?
No, Arnav showed up to the last meeting.
Last meeting में मैं था. मतलब हद हो गई है.
Arnav showed up to. Amrit, your memory is very bad.
One of you was not there. Your names are.
No,
you were all there. He came very late.
Arnav wasn't there. Yeah, Arnav came towards the end. Yeah.
हाँ देखा Kevin, nice, good.
Anyway,
but he did show up though.
Happy New Year, guys. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to the audience as well.
हमने WhatsApp में बोल दिया ना एक दूसरे को. अब वहाँ पे और सही में face to face भी बोलना पड़ता है क्या?
Has to bring the mood down as well every year.
It's for the audience, Amrit, जो अपने 3-4 लोग सुनते हैं उनके लिए.
Okay.
Amrit, it's also for you
Happy
twice
New Year.
because you'll probably listen to this afterwards. And Happy New Year,
Akash, fortunately I have also stopped.
Yeah, देखो, useless. So what
Amrit, do you switch locations and listen to it multiple times?
नहीं मैंने
you
last
used your
10 episodes
VPN to open the podcast.
What
Are you the one
VPN?
person who's
wait.
listening from Ghana?
Whoever's listening to us from Ghana, yaar, true
Thank you, man.
respect.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Vele podcast. This is the podcast where 4 friends gather and talk about random shit. Today is probably going to be the definition of random shit for in this episode. Today is a bit more laid back episode compared to our scams and conspiracy theories ones. So we're going to start off.
Clickbait topics.
Yes, we ran out of very big topics. But before we go into the topics, I'll introduce everyone. First is Amrit George. Should I say your surname? No, it's too late. I've already said it.
No, Akash, you
तू कितनी बार इंट्रोड्यूस कराएगा सबको?
Yeah,
What if the newer
you make it
if
so
a new
awkward.
listener comes, he
So they
/ she should know who the hell is
so they
talking.
can Google and abuse us.
And Kevin
that's
John,
it.
Arnav
Okay.
Panatkar, and I am your host Akash. Now moving on to topics before Amrit tries to interrupt. Okay. So the first topic, Kevin, you had some confusion. The topic is, if you were to be left on a deserted island, let's say that, with no way out, what are the 3 to 5 things that you would take with you? This is a very
Wait,
popular
Gosh, you
game.
asshole.
Play.
You wrote
Kevin, तुझको-
desert.
Kevin तुझे
You
छोड़
didn't
चुके
say
हैं. Just say
it's a desert island.
Kevin,
Okay.
just say you won't take anything. You accept death. Just
But
say that.
technical, I need technical details. कितने टाइम के लिए वहाँ पे छोड़ के गए?
Forever.
Yeah. When people leave you at a deserted island, they give you a timer and clock and
Yes,
everything.
they'll say, yeah.
What
This
boring.
is not like your parents are dropping you off to your friend's house or something, okay? This is a deserted island.
No, but it can be a reality show, right? जहाँ पे तुम्हें छोड़ देते हैं, you have to fight and survive.
अर्नव
No,
तुझे
it's up
जिसने
to you.
रियलिटी शो पे बुलाया है ना वो शो this is they're trying to kill you for sure. If somebody calls you
And it
you
most
get
likely will be
confused.
Amrit only who invites you to that reality show. to
But
kill you.
again yes, that may make more sense than somebody else calling him.
Okay, so it's a forever wala. Okay, problem.
Yeah, forever.
Good to know.
And this is not on just, you don't need to take anything for survival. It's just like, even if you're bored, or if you had to do something, no survival thing is required. I'm just
3
saying
or
if-
5?
3 to 5 things. Let's make
3 to
it,
5.
if you have a lot of things, we can make it 5. If you don't, just say at least 3 things that come into your mind. At least 3.
Akash, this reminds me of like the friend scene when they're stuck in the room and he's like, Joey says like, he brings in condoms and says, we might have to repopulate the earth. And Chandler
With
says, okay, condoms are the way to go.
Friends, man.
I apologize for Kevin's X-rated jokes, but yeah, continue.
So let's start with the person who had confusion on the topic. Kevin, are you
Yeah, I was
ready
gonna
to
say
tell us?
no. I was gonna say satellite
No.
phone. I need a backup.
Okay, satellite phone. Is that the only thing? This topic is going to be
No, I was
amazing,
good.
by the way. We're
Actually, I
already
had
off to a
five
great
things.
start.
I actually had five things listed. Okay, Akash, I do my homework. I had
Good.
satellite phone, a flare gun, um, a giant lighter, so that I don't have to create fire like manually or some shit, and strong alcohol, not for drinking, but like if I hurt myself, and some kind of medication.
धोने के लिए
ठीक है
Acha, okay.
काफी
Kevin
प्रैक्टिकल
went the
सॉल्यूशन है.
survival route. Okay, Kevin, if you had to take for pure entertainment route, you're stuck on there forever. There's no way out. You're stuck on there. Entertainment route, if you had to take things to pass the time, what would they be then? Apart from survival.
Blow.
Blow what? What, Kevin?
I said bro, not blow.
Oh, okay. Sorry, my hearing is so
Akash,
bad.
I'll get a
Carry
blow
on.
up doll for you.
Okay, Kevin. So yeah,
मैं एक
to
जोक
pass the
करूं
time, you
Nahin,
shut up.
no, Amrit, no. Okay,
Kevin, go.
pass the
To
time.
pass
I
the
would
time.
say a few Playboy magazines, some
सीरियसली केविन
alcohol.
सर ये
क्या
50 साल का हो गया
डिसअपॉइंटेड
है
हूँ मैं.
50 साल
But
का हो
this
गया प्लेबॉय मैगजीन्स बोल रहा है
there's a difference from alcohol. The alcohol is not going to be. It's going to be the drinking kind, no, Kevin. I hope. If you say for
नहीं
Yeah,
injuries and
obviously drinking kind.
okay, you
नहीं
said
नहाएगा
injuries for
उसमें
Uh,
yeah. Such,
some crops and
some wait what crops
I mean, I
क्रॉप्स
had to
कहाँ
say
से
it the weather
क्या
better way
गेहूं
to.
ऐसे मिलेगा तुझे गेहूं लेके घूमेगा तू अबे
what?
I didn't want to say
ये मरेगा
weed.
पहले पहले
I
आधे
need,
घंटे में
I
मरेगा
need,
ये
I didn't want to say weed in there because we live in a place where it's illegal. So technically, I don't want to get arrested.
ओ वरना तो तू कैनिबस इंडिका वगैरह बना रहा का स्ट्रेन लेके आएगा ना सेपरेटली वहां पे है
Crops.
Okay, but to be
My
fair,
satellite phone
केविन ने आंसर दिया. आकाश ने उस पे एक और क्वेश्चन पूछ लिया. बेचारा ही इज
Because
कंप्लीटली.
I hope you guys wouldn't do survival thing, but anyway, that was my phrasing of the question. But
अर्नब से
yes,
पूछो
okay, good. Kevin was at least honest. He had said Playboy. He didn't say tissues, but he said Playboy only.
केविन सही में सोच के आया था केविन का प्रॉब्लम क्या था केविन took the assignment too seriously
Bro,
Yeah,
why do you
I have
need
no.
tissues?
मेरे पास आंसर
Bro,
ही
why
नहीं
do
है
you need
उसका.
tissues? You
I
What will you
can
do?
use leaves, man.
I disliked
Hi.
Kevin's answer the moment he said flare gun. I was like, "Chal bhai, who wants you to actually
I was
survive?"
like, this is boring, man. This is boring. Flare gun,
Satnav, flare gun,
medicinal
parachute.
alcohol.
फिर मैं
The reason why I said my Playboy magazine makes complete sense. If I take porno CDs, what am I going to do with it?
When
कहाँ
was the
पे
last
TV
time?
लेके
insert
जा.
करूँगा?
Instead of taking alcohol, take
Tashan,
a TV
when was the
and take
last
your
time
CD.
you saw? When was the last time you saw one of those magazines in the first place, bhai?
No, very long
And
time.
that opened.
चल झूठे.
But साले कुछ तो चाहिए होता है. कुछ तो चाहिए वहाँ पे. तुम अकेले हो. TV नहीं है. Akash, even
आकाश
if I take my TV, what am I going to do over there without a TV? Like
Just
no
assume
electricity,
there's
man.
electricity, that you made electricity. Just be.
Eh, साले
You
यार,
don't need to go into
our,
so into it as well, okay?
our host is clueless about this.
Okay, say okay.
Okay.
You took a turbine, you made a windmill or whatever. Okay, done. It powers your electricity. You
They'll
want to
kill
take a
you
TV,
before
ले ले
you.
TV.
They'll kill you before you reach the island. At this point,
Sach में.
तुम ये सब उठा के जा रहे हो वहाँ पे. I'm just saying.
Okay, Amrit, Swift. Let's move on to you, Amrit.
No, I'm
What
moving
would
to
you
Arnab. मैं नहीं मानता.
नहीं नहीं
Okay,
अमृत से
Arnab.
पूछेंगे पहले.
तुम मुझसे हर बार पूछते हो
अमृत
हर बार
आंसर
पूछते हो,
करेगा
अर्नब
इस बार.
नहीं अर्नब देगा वरना आकाश तू दे मैं नहीं बोल रहा मैं तो शुरुआत में बोल नहीं रहा मैं पहले से कह रहा हूँ
ओके आकाश
Okay.
या.
So, unlike Kevin, I would take a TV. I would assume there's electricity. Like, just imagine that there's electricity. Basic needs are there, like electricity, food. Okay, I'm assuming for myself. So I'll take a TV. I'll
आकाश
take
assumptions won't take you a long way in life
yes.
तेरा ही पॉडकास्ट है. जो
Yeah,
बाप का माल है तेरा ही. जो करना है कर. कुछ भी अज्यूम कर.
I'll take even okay. Scrap TV. I'll take books. Let's see. I'll
books
take Harry
5
Potter.
items क्यों
probably.
बोल रहे बे? एक
One
book
book.
बोल.
Okay. If I had to
उसकी
choose,
एक बुक तो खत्म हो जाएगी एक हफ्ते में, फिर क्या करेगा?
yeah, then you
You should
choose
take
another
a
book for your
Kindle.
second option, then third book for
Yeah.
your
You
third.
should
fourth.
The only person
you
with
should
brains
take a
in this is
Kindle.
Kevin.
Yeah.
You take a.
You should take a
But how,
Kindle.
Kevin? Now back to your logic. How will I get charge the
You
Kindles?
can.
अबे तेरे सपनों की दुनिया में इलेक्ट्रिसिटी हवा से गिर रही है ना तुम.
No, let's go by no electricity rules then.
Hey,
Books.
this you keep changing, man. What is this every
No,
second, Salah?
since Kevin did it that way, let's
Ladies
do
and
it. Stick to
gentlemen,
that way.
I just for your if you are listening to this and wondering कि इन लोगों का दिमाग खराब है या नहीं, this is the level of preparation जिसके साथ हम podcast record करके इस
Yes,
पूरा
this was
साल
what we
continue करने वाले
discussed
हैं.
in the meeting. This is what we discussed at the meeting.
And this
Okay,
is for
books.
2021 का first episode. Great job.
Yes.
Exactly. We all have just come up with the high from
No,
the New Year's
technically
parties.
second episode, guys, because apna resolutions will be first. So
They
we are
will
fine.
ban us, or we should ban ourselves.
Okay, so books I'd probably take, if I had to choose one favorite Harry Potter book, I would say is the seventh one, Deathly Hallows. If I had to choose one, other book, I actually want to read the Barack Obama book. If I had to take one,
Akash,
No.
अबे
question
कोई
is
भी
not
किताब
about the
लेके
books.
जा रहा है.
no, I'm saying two books. Third one, I would take. I want to take a
Loved.
TV, but now if I'm doing no electricity, then I'll leave that shit alone.
Answer नहीं है आकाश के पास.
वाह शाबाश.
No, I only had three,
Akash,
but then
as usual,
I had
Akash
three.
jokes in the clutch. And
I
nice,
had three,
amazing.
including the TV, prepared.
अच्छा.
But yeah, I'll take the TV. Hopefully, electricity powered and everything. Assuming that we can find a way to power it. And I'll
Battery
take
bank है.
Netflix. Done.
McDonald's भी है offshore.
Yeah,
क्या tension ले
McDonald's.
रहे हो?
Yes, definitely. Go on, Amrit. Now it's your turn. This is
अच्छा
going to be a very
मेरी
short.
since we are doing an assumption based show मेरी इसमें
Yes.
I am in the Pirates of the Caribbean वाला world तो मेरे साथ ना उसी में Black Pearl है मेरे साथ Deserted Island में फिर वो छोटा turtle वाला चीज भी है वहाँ पे.
Oh, you're
ठीक
going to
है,
use your
then-
back hair to make a
हाँ,
robot.
बैक हेयर क्या नहीं और मेरे साथ जैक स्पैरो भी है आइलैंड में तो मैं फर्स्ट आइटम जैक स्पैरो पर्ल और वो टर्टल कछुए और उसके साथ जाके मैं पायरेट्स ऑफ द कैरिबियन का वो बन जाता हूँ कैप्टन. ये है मेरी
You'll be
स्टोरी.
the monkey from Pirates of the Caribbean. You won't even be.
कुछ भी हो मैं वो मूवी में घुस जाऊंगा.
अबे
ये होता है
आइटम्स
मेरे
तो
साथ
बोल
Deserted
5.
Island में.
मूवी में क्या घुस
પાંચ
जाऊंगा?
items
आइटम्स
तो
बोल.
बोल. What movie?
मेरे 3 आइटम हो गए ना जॉनी डेप कछुए और वो बोट.
Honestly, Johnny Depp might find it a issue to travel right now. I think he's being taken to court or something. No?
हाँ
So
तो
I
इसकी
don't
जगह
think
मैं
you can
मैं
have-
मैं ही अपने आप को कैप्टन अमृत स्पैरो बोल के घूमूंगा वहाँ पे. तो बस
Eh,
ये है मेरी वाया स्टोरी. If I was actually stuck on a deserted island,
Yeah, actually stuck.
Maybe
If
you
I was
should.
actually stuck, and
Maybe
I
you
had
should.
like
No survival,
Do you
just
think
to pass the
that-
time.
Kevin, no one's taking you to the deserted island. Stay away.
No, do you think you
Man-
should take Penelope Cruz instead of Johnny Depp? I mean, I'm just telling.
अबे उसके बाद बोट मिलेगी और सारी लड़की आ जाएंगी. Kevin,
Kevin,
he's
if that was the
he's-
option, वो अपनी वाइफ को लेके जाएगा पहले.
Such a-
Oh yeah, that also.
that
Yes,
also.
correct. But my
Luckily, your wife
original
doesn't
answer-
listen to the show.
No, thoroughly dislikes this entire idea. But if I had to think of 5 items, first and foremost, always for me would be a Kindle. And I didn't play by Akash का no electricity theory. मेरे दिमाग में था कि the 2 items जो मैं vanity के लिए ले रहा हूँ, one would be Kindle and then would be some sort of power source. Some sort of power bank which I can like activate and
Charge.
अगर मुझे घुमा के चार्ज करना है हाथ से और वो चलूंगा. उसके बाद के जो 3 आइटम्स थे since I was like कि since I in my mind felt कि this is kind of like a death sentence. मरने जा रहे हो तुम क्या करोगे. There is a very special brand of tequila जो मुझे कॉलेज के दिन से याद है. वो Jose Cuervo गोल्ड करके होती थी. उसकी मुझे एक बॉटल
Jose Cuervo.
वो उसका एक गोल्ड वर्जन है जो मुझे अभी भी याद है. वन
tequila.
फॉन्ड मेमोरीज. उसके पीने के बाद मस्त उल्टी आती थी. मैं चाहता हूँ कि वो हर हफ्ते उसके 2-3 पैक मार के
You'll just puke into the sea. क्या? Like, bleh.
एकदम. अब फिर एनवायरनमेंट की टेंशन लेने की क्या जरूरत है. अब मस्त उल्टी करो.
Yes, अच्छा है.
हम भी उल्टी
Kevin
में
will
और
do it.
हम भी
Kevin
उल्टी में
into the sea, and you will
Yeah.
vomit into it.
I'll vomit.
Gotta see.
Just the thought of Kevin doing that will make me puke without the tequila.
That's a disgusting
मैं
thing.
भी उल्टी कर दूं. मछली
Oh,
भी उल्टी में ना आए,
We are
ऐसा हो जाए.
disgusting. I said you should take tissues
Then-
with you.
then-
You
then
wherever
I
you do it,
thought-
Kevin.
Then मेरा एक,
I said I'll.
एक
Bro, you have leaves, man. use the leaf.
Hi.
केविन अल्कोहल और लीव्स यूज करेगा क्योंकि केविन को एक्स्ट्रा आइडिया है इन चीजों का.
Kevin will burn off his if he does alcohol and leave.
You know, this episode might have like you cannot release it at this rate.
There may many things that
Arnav
you'll have to
keeps
bleep
covering
out.
his face.
You'll
Arnav's
have
going to
to
say, I
ble-
can't let my parents listen
No,
to
no,
this.
there'll be lots
Seriously.
of parts that you'll have to cut out. वो हम बाद में बोलेंगे
Yes,
शुरुआत से end तक. But yeah, the fourth item would be which I thought I genuinely want to do if I'm going to die. There is one practical skill I never learned, and that was fishing. I want to learn fishing once. If I'm on a deserted island और कोई option नहीं है, I want to learn that. And fifth and the absolute final thing was another lifelong goal क्योंकि खाने वाने को तो आइडिया नहीं है. फिश करके मे बी आई कैन फीड माई सेल्फ. एंड द अदर थिंग वुड बी मुझे हमेशा सर्फ करना सीखना था. I'll take a surfboard.
How do
These
you
are
make
my
a
5
Oh,
things.
you'll take a surfboard. Okay.
I'll take that will be the 5 items I'll take. इनमें से ज़्यादा practical नहीं है, but if I am on a deserted island and
No,
I
but yeah,
expect
to
to
pass
die,
the time,
yeah,
obviously.
then
Yeah.
ये 5 चीजें मुझे करनी है.
Surfing was
I
interesting.
still,
Good.
I still think you can trade Jack Sparrow for Penelope Cruz. Just think.
Kevin has been stuck on that point.
I'm
Abhi,
just
Kevin is
saying.
reliving the movies. He'll eventually meet Penelope Cruz. He's
अच्छा
really
okay,
Yeah.
एक मिनट Kevin, if you're allowed to take one person, किसको लेके जाएगा?
Hi. This could be very bad for us. Anyway, carry
Yeah,
on.
I'm not answering that question.
Wait, why are you not answering that
Yeah,
question?
तू-
सच में.
तो
I was expecting some celebrity. तू क्या सोच रहा था Kevin?
Okay, Kevin, for you, if you're stuck on
I
the
don't know who
island
to
and you have a
answer.
choice of celebrity, which celebrity
Oh,
would you be
wow,
stuck
wow,
with?
wow.
Let's change it for
बोल
you.
रहा है.
Let's change it for you.
Nice save.
I think I'll take like someone like Charlize Theron. Not because she's hot. It's just like I think because she's like I think survival ability I think is high as well. So
Yes, as an
might as
actress,
well
she has
take
a
her.
lot of survival abilities. Yes.
No, as in I think she's like does a lot of training like jujitsu.
Why the
And
hell
shit.
don't you take that Bear Grylls guy if you want survival? Why are you taking Charlize Theron? Why-
Because I don't want some random guy, man.
और
ये
तो
random लड़की नहीं है ये.
random लड़की है ना. Bear Grylls has a TV show.
Kevin-
Modi went
Kevin-
on the TV show.
Kevin tried to give some super like serious sounding answer to make some logic. यार वो बहुत ना coaching करती है, training करती है, इसलिए मैं लेके जा रहा हूँ और कोई वो नहीं.
Okay, if I absolutely have to say by looks, then Jennifer
Yes, by
Lawrence.
looks. Okay, Jennifer.
Jennifer Lawrence.
That's a
Decided.
better.
अब क्या ना अब Kevin
He
की
said-
इज्जत की बात आ गई. अब तो अच्छा नाम
Now-
ले गई.
Moving on. Arnav, if you want to go for celebrity as well, you can. But
नहीं
your
भाई.
3 to 5
Says
things.
Celebrity. 5
Amrit
things.
had the best answer, actually. I said
Hands
2 books
down.
and a TV.
इसलिए
Watch
मेरा भी
Netflix.
mostly related to survival है. A couple of items, knife, so I can figure out some food, gun for safety, life jacket. That's
Yes,
both
on a
for.
deserted island, you need a gun for safety.
अबे तो और जानवर भी तो हो सकते हैं ना साले.
That
उनसे
kind of
कौन
cancels
बचेगा?
the fact of a deserted island. But
How is it deserted then?
yes, exactly.
No,
If there's no one on the
animals
island,
don't count,
nothing
right?
on the island. What do you mean
Animals don't
should-
count.
If it's deserted, there's nothing there.
फिर तो
I assumed to that.
oh you can assume internet वहाँ पे, you cannot assume animals वहाँ पे. हद हो
Yes,
गई है मतलब.
internet, internet
Forget
can be
Akash.
assumed because that's
Forget that
man-made.
Akash. You cannot use Akash as reference. He forgot the question altogether.
And then he's
He
making
was-
fun of my एक basic answer, gun.
Okay, go on. Gun to protect against the imaginary animals. Yes, carry on.
Yeah, knife. भाई trees है, so I can figure out my food. ये वो भी नहीं
Yes,
है.
yes, that's there.
Okay. Then life jacket for 2 reasons. First, मुझे swimming नहीं आती, so I need that.
Actually, good choice.
Yeah, and
Actually,
also-
none of us said life jacket. I have to say that's pretty bad. But yes, go on.
And that's also for entertainment, so I can at least learn something वहाँ पे. So these 3 things तो मैंने कल रात को सोची थी, but आज तुम्हारे answers के बाद I'm
No,
lost
I was
आगे
saying
का.
I meant for entertainment reasons. Like, what
Maybe
would
you
you
can
take
make
to pass
yourself
the
a
time?
boat.
Because you're stuck.
क्या,
Yeah, with
Kevin?
knife I can do lot of things. That was the reason of having a knife. Knife से hopefully I can learn
Kev-
some things वहाँ पे.
Kevin said कि he will make boat. कैसे बनाते हैं?
I mean, you can cut a bunch of tree trunks and tie them together,
Oh,
and then it will
सही
float.
है.
Kevin,
ऐसे करते हैं ये सब?
knife से tree trunks नहीं कटेंगे भाई.
ना छोटा
वो
knife.
तो
but
पता
it's-
है.
नहीं,
Okay.
इसका फेवरेट एक्टर बाइक उठाता है ना हाथ से तो इसको लगता है सब पॉसिबल है.
His favorite actor for our audience is John Abraham.
No, it's not. Favorite
Specifically
Okay,
in
it's
the
actor.
not.
movie Force.
And
Force
my
थी ना
fourth
जिसमें
You
item
bike
was
उठाता
some
है.
sort of soccer ball या ऐसा कुछ, just to time pass. Because I
नहीं
have done that.
बास्केटबॉल लेना. हमारा
नहीं,
स्पोर्ट
basketball
पिलर है.
खेल नहीं सकते. Soccer फिर
take
भी
the
you can play on a
basketball
deserted
hoop as well
island.
to the island. Take it won't the ball won't bounce on the island, but at least you can just throw it.
Exact. For a reason, I said soccer ball.
Yeah,
Very practical. You can play soccer कहीं पे भी. That was the point.
not bad. Amrit, your answer was the best. I feel still the surfing and all. Actually, that was impressive. Actually, I didn't
Surfing was impressive, yeah. I
surfing. I
have to
liked
say.
that. I didn't
My
Even though
fa-
should have
even
thought
though
of that.
Amrit को भी
my
swimming नहीं आती.
Yeah,
my
Amrit, if he
no
falls off the
my
surfboard, he's dead.
no
Amrit's
you
dead.
don't understand. My logic is very specifically that I'm going to that place assuming that it's like a forever sentence of it. So I'm
Yeah,
okay with those repercussions. So I really want to do the things which I will never do in real life. मेरे यहाँ 10 किलोमीटर दूर बीच है जो मैं गलती से नहीं जाता. But still, if
but
I'm
it's funny
sentenced to
that
a
you
place
said
that.
surfing and you didn't say you learn how to swim.
No, because I really like. I've had base swimming lessons over the last 2 years, but I
Oh, okay.
genuinely surfing ka very concept is very scary to me. Like outright, like especially
Yeah,
water
man.
itself is scary, but like the concept of like go high waves वगैरह में
The amount
थोड़ा
of
ज़्यादा
balance
है
you need
तो.
on that waves, I'm guessing.
I
And
So
think
I'm
if you're
hoping.
I think if you're fit and if you know how to swim, I think surfing would. I think you
Kevin,
can teach
I
yourself how
can
to
do
I
surf
one
also.
of
don't think.
one of those things I can do. I can't do the second thing.
Kevin
Yeah,
ने
Fitness कर
exactly.
लूंगा.
Like I
Kevin ने
think if you know,
rocket science वाला आंसर दिया. If you know how to swim and if you are fit, then you can surf.
no, as in like balance because you
Balance,
need
yeah.
a lot of core strength, so you need a lot of balance. I mean, you need a lot of balance, so you need core strength for that. और
Interesting. I would
लेकिन
actually.
यार I think अपना सबसे biggest challenge is I think swimming. Amrit for me and you
No, I know
and
specifically
Arnav.
Merle swimming thing. For me, my favorite answer of the day was Akash trying to choose a Harry Potter book in the
Yeah, I was
middle of
trying to
his own
say. I was like,
question.
if I have to take only one book, then it was the seventh book.
And after Harry Potter, he
And
chose
Barack
Barack
Obama.
Obama.
because
No, you
actually
know the
I saw that book in the mall and I was
Arnav,
like, should I buy it? Should I not buy it?
Arnav, do you know how you made him conscious to say that? You said एक हफ्ते में एक बुक खत्म हो जाएगी. Then he's like ठीक है अगले हफ्ते के लिए मैं बराक ओबामा की बुक लूंगा. तो तीसरे हफ्ते क्या करेगा फिर? इस तरह
And
के तेरे 5
interestingly, उस
ऑप्शन
book
निकल
का
गए.
नाम है Promised Land.
Akash, you will not
Exactly.
survive. Akash, you will not survive in the
No,
wild.
no, no, I won't. But I was gonna say one more thing about Amrit's thing. Oh, Amrit, have you learned more than that stupid X formation Julia taught you for your
Yeah,
swimming?
yeah. My wife is really into swimming and is more of a
Good.
water person. So I've had to try and at least learn. I always
You know,
try.
even I have realized कि मुझे swimming, like I like water और ऐसा sports और सब, but it's just like I'm not
नहीं नहीं मेरे
technically
लिए
sound
opposite
to
है यार.
survive.
I have always disliked water. I'm a very blatantly a land person.
No.
बहुत वो पता नहीं.
Why did you dislike?
तो होता है पानी के अंदर immediately like I'm just thoroughly uncomfortable. Like I start saying weird things. Like I remember मैं और तारा I think one of our New Year anniversaries के लिए we rented out we went to I think side में we rented out a proper villa वगैरह और वहाँ पे हम पानी है and she's very happy और suddenly I'm like actually this water does not feel safe and just for no reason कोई नहीं है वहाँ पे सेफ नहीं है पता नहीं कौन कहीं से देख रहा होगा हमको and वो बस मुझे देख रही है और मैं ऐसे बोलते जा रहा हूँ पता नहीं फालतू की चीजें. I just didn't want to get into it. So,
Let's
but
say
now
I'll give
I've
you that,
learned how
Amrit,
to
for
float up and everything.
spring break when we went to Cancun. When you at least went for the cliff jumping. You didn't know shit how to swim. You're like, I'm going cliff jumping.
See,
I'll drown, but I'm going cliff jumping.
but
I
for
was
me
like, eh?
that was a different. For me that was a different thing. For me that was the very specific thing. कि I'm not going to back out simply because of that logic. कि like कुछ नहीं हो सकता. I was like, if it comes down and it's close
No,
enough
I didn't go
here.
for it because I forgot my contacts, so I would be blind without my glasses, literally
Nee,
blind.
but honestly, Akash, for me, it's like after those experiences now, when I'm in water, like when I have no other option, I've somewhat become used to like मुझे ना कुछ उल्टी पुल्टी चीजें आ जाती है कि क्योंकि मेरे लिए तो पंगा है हाथ और पैर दोनों सेम टाइम पे वाटर के अंदर मूव करना ना that becomes impossible क्योंकि I think it's moving by the time I'm drowning and I'm like पानी से निकल रहा है पानी से
Yeah, I think what once you
That-
learn the proper techniques, then I'm pretty sure you will enjoy.
Yeah, the
like
main thing is that you don't
natural होता
panic.
है
If
लोगों
you
के लिए.
panic, then you just waste so much energy. You just have to be calm
Yeah.
and just logically
Hmm.
think how to keep yourself.
But it's hard once you're panicking पानी में
hard,
because it's
Panicking
extremely
is
hard.
very
नहीं,
hard.
मेरे लिए
It
था
is.
एक बहुत स्पेसिफिक चीज है कि मेरे लिए आई वाज इंट्रोड्यूस्ड टू वाटर पोस्ट 18-19 ओनली प्रॉपर्ली स्विमिंग वगैरह द वन स्पोर्ट आई हैड जीरो नथिंग व्हाटसोएवर टू डू विद हमारे स्कूल में ऑब्वियसली नहीं था ऐसा कुछ भी एंड हमारे यहाँ जिम्स में इट्स ऑल लैंड बेस्ड स्पोर्ट्स ओनली सो इट
Yeah.
वाज द वन थिंग जिसका कोई वो नहीं है एंड आई जेन्युइनली थिंक दैट बच्चों को बचपन में ही सिखाना चाहिए एसेंशियल लाइफ स्किल है दैट शुड डेफिनेटली बी टॉट एट अ यंगर एज
Next topic. So this one's a better topic, much better topic. Thank you, Kevin, for this topic.
What product
You,
do you want to invest in, but the image or the ethical reasons or
but
whatever
I
your reasons
changed it a bit
are
because
stopping you from?
I don't know
you
if
can
all of us have ethical. At least I don't have an ethical reason.
ladies and
No, it can
gentlemen
be
you can
ethical or
answer
any
at
business.
whichever one you want to क्योंकि सवाल नहीं
Yeah.
पता
It's
हमें
it's
let's-
ethical, business, whatever reasons is keeping you away from it. That is the question.
Okay, so let's
Or the
start.
image of the
Kevin,
product.
you had the very interesting one. Actually,
I mean, this question I asked was because I was initially this about 4 5 years back. There was a Google had introduced there was a hype about Google Glass, which I was very intrigued by. I was actually willing to like start saving, like and just make sure that at that time I think I was like just in college or something. So I was like I was willing to like save up a little bit just to get that Google Glass because I think that was it just seemed too cool for me. But I think, and this is not about investing, just like me personally buying that. So let me clarify that. When I said invest, I'm not talking about investing in the product development or something like that. I'm talking about me buying the product. So essentially, what stopped me was when I started to read about why there were a lot of people who were for it, but there was a hell lot of people who were against this because once Google actually revealed what exactly they are trying to achieve from this Google Glass, from the prototype that they built, it just seemed like like the public would lose privacy. So essentially, here's a glass that you can see everything, as in you can see your background and your maps and everything is going to be displayed in at your eye level. So it's essentially like a regular glass with like a hologram display, and there are cameras around it, there are sensors around it, so it's essentially recording your whole environment. So you can record a conversation without the other person knowing, or you can record someone's video without the other person even knowing that you are recording. Just like a
Kevin,
lot
have
of
you seen
But-
Kevin, have you seen Vegeta had it in Dragon Ball Z?
yeah, he had a
Glass.
scouter, but he broke it, Amrit, when it was over 9,000 Goku's power level. I was going to say.
That's probably where they got the
do you know they
inspiration from.
They stole it from that. I'm not even joking. Someone must have seen that.
They inspired from that
वैसे हाँ.
thing. I'm pretty sure.
But can it read your power level?
No,
What?
It went silent there. It went silent, and then Amrit was like, "Eh, what?"
in my mind, that's how it see. Because I always thought
No,
like, it was this super cool thing that already existed that they didn't want us to
No,
know
but
about.
was the privacy issue a huge thing? Because I can't remember it. But
No,
isn't the
it
same
got
thing if you record
cancelled.
from your phone secretly? Isn't that the same?
No, it got cancelled because not because of privacy issue. I think it wasn't a viable option anymore.
I
Like
think-
they had, it was very futuristic. Like the display itself, for example, they failed in the display. The
Yeah.
display was supposed to be on like a clear, so it essentially looks like a clear glass, and there'll be a hologram display, and it projects it onto that glass. It was never going to work, essentially. So that
Yeah,
is
so-
why it failed. Like it was never a project that was. I don't think the world is advanced enough to get that technology mass produced for everyone. I don't think that is possible yet.
I think
So
it was
that
a
is why it
combination
failed.
of like misleading in advertising because people thought like the advertisement showed it to be like very like, oh, you can see your Google Maps straight, and it tells you where to go to
Yeah.
this bookstore. Inside the bookstore also it tells you if you
Yes.
want a certain book and everything. I remember, and then it was
That's
like
really
very
cool,
like
right?
it was
Was
very
it
cool.
like the Iron Man Jarvis thing?
I guess so. You
not
can
as
say not like
advanced
it's
as
talking
that.
to you, but It's just
But
showing you,
Iron Man
displaying.
के पास तो already Jarvis है, तो why would I take a lower version of it?
हाँ, तो तू आयरन मैन है ना, तेरे पास
मैं
Jarvis है.
मेरे पास Jarvis है. Iron Man हुए ना, Jarvis है मेरे पास.
Yeah.
No, but it had other things also. Like for
No,
example,
yeah.
you know how the Google Lens works. Like
Translation and
it
all.
essentially has like a it essentially has like a live version of that. So like
Tells you
you
Translation as
sitting
information.
in a
in
library.
like live language को translate करके तुम्हें दिखाएगा.
Yeah,
Ba-
no,
it had a camera which they
yeah,
eventually did want that feature that like you can record something what you can see in the Google Glass. That was a feature in it. It could
Live
also
stream.
translate like
Go
Google, yeah,
go
basically
go basically GoPro
a
जैसे live
GoPro
stream
type,
वैसे. Okay,
GoPro,
okay, okay.
GoPro type. But
yeah. It
yeah, and then you
What was
could
the
translate.
official reason, Kevin, why they said कि नहीं कर सकते?
it wasn't a viable project anymore. They failed in the prototype phase itself.
Also,
Is that
demand
what?
decreased after the prototype
Wait, did
fiasco.
they say that? Yeah, like is that? Did you infer that from?
Yeah, Google's no Google's Google had released a statement that it wasn't a viable option anymore.
It failed in the development because they gave it to developers, now the prototypes to work with, and it failed there because first of all, the design they didn't show in the original ad for Google Glass. They didn't show how it would look like when it came out. It looked pretty shit. It looked very
It looked
flimsy.
यार
really bad. Yeah,
ये जो तुम describe कर रहे हो, this reminds me जब अर्नब introduced us to that very creepy neural link वाला जो Musk कर रहा है.
Yeah,
Is that the future of how they're going to like तुम्हें वो genetic modification दिखाने वाले हैं, जैसे करने वाले हैं वो. Do you think that is going to actually work out? Because when अर्नब ने कोई pigs वाला video share किया था, and I was
Hmm.
looking at those pigs, एक तो पहला pig बाहर नहीं आया. मतलब it was the worst comedy of all time. That genuinely seemed like it was something that happened somewhere here. वो बुला रहा है उसको, वो बाहर नहीं आ रहा है. I was like, चलो sorry, technical
That was funny. वो बेचारा pig.
वो
वैसे मस्क के
genetically-
साथ होता है something like, at least you know it's real then because these mistakes happen. Like the Cybertruck, he's like throw the metal ball at the window.
That
and it
was
broke.
sad.
It's like, oh
क्या हुआ
shit.
था?
I think
क्या
So
हुआ?
they
it gets
they
really
launched a cyber truck, which is basically उनका pickup truck. जो यूएस में pickup truck चलता
Yeah.
है, वो उनका version था टेस्ला का.
वो जो अजीब वो Hot Wheels वाला ट्रक जो था वो.
Yeah.
The futuristic looking thing.
So on stage, he wanted to
What
demo
do you
it
guys
कि
think of
वो
that?
बहुत ही strong glass है उसका. So one of his colleagues, Musk, asked him to कि pick up a metal ball and
Yeah,
throw it on the glass,
heavy.
and it won't break. And बंदे ने पूछा, "Are you sure?" मस्क ने हाँ बोला. He picked up the glass and फेंका, and the glass broke वहाँ पे ही.
And then he was like, oh, and then he just said, oh, fuck.
Oh yeah.
I was like, oh, shit.
But that's
Oh,
funny though.
God.
I know in the
But then
moment
you,
it's
at least you
embarrassing,
know,
but it's
yeah.
funny. If you
At
ask
least
it
you
was
know
funny,
that
but-
it's real. Like, okay, this happened, shit happens. It was probably, and they said later on, they showed the test that happened before it or something.
Yeah, it was
that
just a
did
one-off thing,
resist.
but
It was a one-off thing.
As-
But
no, apparently they did the same test on the same
Yeah.
truck right before the launch, like multiple times. So
Yeah.
apparently, some of the experts have said that they had already damaged one of the layers. So it's essentially multiple layers. That's how the glass is formed. So
But
they
that's
might
not
have
good for
damaged
a
one of the layers.
eh,
So
for a future.
when there
Someone
was a
who's going to buy
crack,
the
it just
truck.
expanded.
Someone who's going to buy the truck and thinks कि अच्छा एक बार में नहीं टूटेगा, but somebody hits you thrice.
yeah, it's similar to Apple's like, oh, the Face ID is going to be the most accurate kind of this thing to read your face and unlock your phone and everything. Then the guy picks it up, unable to unlock phone.
But Akash, don't you think that's like a problem with people by taking something too literally? Like you can't fall from a marketing campaign that easily. So this is the best ever. Who said it? They said it. And
No, it was
that's
just
like
funny because in both these cases, it's live demo are always critical, right? I mean, live demo
Yeah.
when you are demoing for the first time, people at least that time it should not fail. That's why lots of companies they stay away from doing live demos.
Live
just
demos, yeah,
because
they
of these
show a
reasons.
fix,
Yeah.
like an
the
ad, a
person
video.
person
I
I've
think-
seen do the best live demos, and मुझे obviously I find any tech reveal so boring. That's why I'd much rather come and make fun of it with you guys afterwards than watch the live show. When Steve Jobs used to do it, na, I used to feel like he's in control of the entire situation. And it was मेरे लिए तो it was like, oh, the newest iPhone या कुछ वो बता रहा है. I would like kind of believe what he was saying.
But I
Steve
think he
Jobs
Yeah,
did
you
also
it
had
in
still
a
have
a
very
control.
mess up
safer
as well.
way, also, right?
No,
He
Steve
didn't
No,
do
Jobs
no,
like
also.
what Musk is
no,
doing. He's
no, no.
doing it more smarter and
Yeah,
safer.
I think presentation wise also he was a god at presenting things. In
Yeah.
my
Oh
He
opinion,
yeah.
was, yeah,
I think
definitely.
I think
He had that
I think Musk
showmanship.
is
Musk
I
का
think
जो
Musk is
neural
a
link
really
वाला
bad
था ना,
presenter.
where,
Like when he
where
re-
उसका,
when he
he just
represented when Musk released the Model Y for the first time, he said like some inappropriate joke. He's like, okay, so basically, it wasn't supposed to be named Model 3 first. Like, Model 3, it was supposed to be Model E. And so he was talking about Model Y. So it's essentially sexy. That is what he's spelling out from all the cars. So, but Ford had a Model E, and he says, "Well, Ford doesn't like sex." And everyone's just like, "Okay, it's like this is a for."
Oh, I didn't even know that's what he was trying to spell. I was like, oh my god, this
yeah, it was going to
looks
be
like a
this.
That's
screw
I mean,
a
loose there.
he's a scientist. He's not a good orator
Yeah,
or anything like that. He's a
yeah.
scientist.
And I think
But
that's
what do you
why
guys think about that truck?
that
Let's say on another note.
looks like some
I
cyborg.
don't
If you
mind
ask
it.
me.
I don't mind it. I think it's interesting. I
I
don't know if
just
I
feel
like it or dislike it, but I don't.
आकाश तुझे याद है
it's too
जब
cool for me. I like it.
सबसे पहले जब ये PS5 का पहला जो रिवील हुआ था डिजाइन का, there were people who were like, I don't understand this. Once you get used to it and the product is like something, good enough to look at, it becomes you become
Yeah,
used to it.
then you
I saw
become
it
used
first,
to it.
I thought it was some Hot Wheels किसी छोटे बच्चे का. Okay, I saw the
But
क्या कहते हैं फोटो, ऊपर से फोटो जो पता है, अजीब सा थोड़ा, it
Yeah.
looks very rectangularly
Yeah.
built,
but
थोड़ा
anyway,
अजीब सा.
Kevin was saying the Google Glass. We got sidetracked completely,
Yeah.
and
We
Amrit was talking about pigs, and then we went on to other stuff on Elon Musk.
That's the
So
beauty of this
yeah, so the
podcast.
essentially
Google, huh, Kevin,
essentially
carry on.
I'm glad that the Google Glass is not like was not like a formal product or anything, was not successful, because I feel it would be a huge breach on privacy. Like, okay, when someone is recording with their phone, when someone's wearing a Google Glass
Yeah, you
and
don't
you
know.
don't know whether someone's recording you or what. Like, essentially, if it's Google, they're collecting every single bit of your conversation, every single like action that you're doing. So, like, even if it's for data study purpose, I feel there's a huge gap. It's not even at this point, you're not even asking the permission of the person.
अभी
Like,
अलेक्सा
it's
भी तो
all
घर बैठ के
dependent.
यही अभी अलेक्सा भी तो घर बैठ के यही करती है, सबकी बातें सुनती रहती है अलेक्सा, गूगल होम,
But
सब कुछ यही तो है, ये
I
सब तो वही
isn't.
है.
I might be wrong. Arnav might know more. Wasn't there rumors that Apple is also looking at some like Apple glasses? But I think those are for like notification purposes. Like it'll tell you
I mean,
notifications
yeah,
when you have.
rumors are there. By the way, Google haven't closed down this project. They just
I
made
think,
it into enterprise product. So it's not for the consumer. It's more for businesses now. So अभी भी मिलता है Google
Got it.
Glass if you want to buy.
yeah, I think development kits are still available for Google Glass that you can just buy and say that you're a
Got it.
developer and going to
आकाश
work with
आकाश
it.
खरीद के चेक करियो कि उसमें वो ड्रैगन बॉल जी वाला पावर लेवल है या नहीं.
Yes, but your power level will be less than zero. Amrit, don't worry.
Oh no, you try it on yourself now and then see what
I'll
happens.
look in the mirror and just look at myself. And okay, Amrit, next
Yeah.
yours. Do you?
Yeah, the product for me was this the product which I wanted to get, but I found it to be terribly invasive. And for me, I thought you had to be invest in. There has to be some ethical reason why. There's this product called Voodoo, जो एक extension की तरह आता है तुम्हारे Chrome या उस सब में, and phone पे भी डाउनलोड कर सकते हो. तो what they offered was कि essentially they will go through each of your apps, and initially they said they will automatically tell you कि किस ऐप में सबसे बेस्ट डील चल रही है, बट उसके बाद इट वाज एसेंशियली लाइक दे रिपीटेडली वांट टू क्या कहते हैं कि यहाँ पे तुमने क्या ट्रांजैक्शन किया है, तुमने यहाँ पे क्या ट्रांजैक्शन किया. इट वाज लाइक एसेंशियली यू हैव टू गिव फुल एक्सेस टू ईच वन ऑफ योर शॉपिंग एप्स, and you have to buy everything through them. And what seemed like something that was supposed to make the process of shopping easier, because instead of going to 5 to 10 apps तुम्हें पहले से पता होगा कहाँ पे, felt like this seemed like a huge way to just gather people's information. And there was a month or two here, I think few years ago, when that app got pushed by a lot of people. I think online it was pushed, among people it was pushed, TV में भी ads थे उनके, and suddenly I don't know what happened, like I think they got replaced. अभी हनी करके कोई ऐप आया है जो वापस I think काफी सेम चीज करता है. They go and search for the best deal using all the things that you're signed in on. And my ethical thing with it was just pretty much quite simply that I don't want to give. I know I want my shopping to be easier online. That's all there. That's fine. But I don't want to give some random organization each one of those logins, passwords, and that much access to all of my shopping habits. Because I started noticing then, remember वो free game हम खेलते थे, quiz up and everything. Once I
Yeah.
downloaded
Yeah.
Voodoo and everything, inside some probably 4 or 5 games or something, मेरे हर ऐप में वो जो free ads नहीं होते, क्योंकि obviously premium version तो खरीदना है नहीं. तो quiz हर ऐप में everything started changing. Like very literally. Amazon में obviously जब तुम शॉप करते हो obviously वो ads change तो आता ही है, but not that blatantly. It became a bit too precise, and I was like, okay, something very wrong is happening. So I uninstalled and removed an entire thing, and
Actually,
that
one
my
more
ethical
worry.
question was, bhai.
Are you scared like they'll have all your account details, like your card details and all that
See,
in
bhai,
this stuff?
हम जिस time में भी रह रहे हैं, you can easily get your account, card, and everything with one phone call cancelled and transaction refunded. वो आज मजे में हो सकता है. We are in a privileged enough situation where we can call a banking person directly. For me, it was not that. For me, it was a very direct ethical reason that I didn't want one centralized app to have that much control on each one of those, just for some momentary freedom. You know, कि ये वो मुझे वो कर सकता है, like it will make the shopping easy, क्योंकि they'll be like no no, यहाँ पे 10% की deal यहाँ चल रही है and all of that. I'd still much rather hear it from a human being. Me
Yeah.
personally, I'd rather hear it
I
from a
get that.
human being कि इस ऐप में अभी ये चल रहा है. Like I find that far more comforting than
Like you
this.
find those apps that have those one-time password apps that you just put your passwords in there and then it'll automatically log you on to any other account straight away. You don't need to remember your password. I find those very like dodgy to me because I'm like don't want to do
Google
that.
Google does that. Like मैं तो
Yeah.
बहुत बड़ा hypocrite हूँ इसमें. Like I log into everything with my वो Google वाला account है. उसके पास मेरे सारे passwords हैं. बैंकिंग का फियर जो 2010 में था, मुझे अभी 2020 में इसलिए नहीं है बिकॉज यू नो, जिसे तुम्हारे हर लाइक सैलरी अकाउंट, मेन अकाउंट्स या जॉइंट अकाउंट सबके, यू नो द बैंक पीपल डायरेक्टली, यू कैन कॉल देम एंड से
Mm-hmm.
कि ये इलीगल ट्रांजैक्शन है, कैंसिल कर दो कार्ड से. दैट्स फाइन. लाइक क्रेडिट कार्ड्स वगैरह स्पेशली में यू हैव 24/7 कॉल सेंटर सिटिंग जो मजे में कैंसिल मार देंगे. तो दैट्स नॉट द फियर. The fear is just like these third party apps को तुम्हारे essential habits and how that then becomes what was displeasing to me was कि तुम्हारे दूसरे apps के अंदर भी now you become part of their ecosystem, which I
Mm.
I
wasn't
think I
sure
would be
for.
a bit more scared in India, though, to be honest, because I feel the service part over here is a little bit more weaker compared to the US, where you say that there's a banking fraud, immediately the refund is done.
Kevin, I
But like
thoroughly disagree. Man,
no,
I've
I
logged
ran into
I
SBI issue. So essentially my dad withdrew from a ATM, and there was a power loss, and the money got debited from the account, but
hmm,
the money never came out of the ATM.
hmm.
So usually almost every ATM has a backup power, but this specific one did not have backup power. So it took almost 4 weeks or 3 weeks to get. We had to go to the central office of SBI to
भाई मेरे
complain
साथ SBI
for
में
that.
ये कब हुआ, इस साल हुआ है क्या?
Yeah, about 2 months back.
हमारे साथ 2019 में दिसंबर में, मेरे साथ नहीं 2020 जनवरी में लेगा 12,000 मैंने वहां से निकालते SBI से ही, जो हमारा जो जॉइंट अकाउंट है उसमें. और एंड अगेन पैसा बाहर नहीं आया, बट इनसाइड 1 to 2 hours the entire thing, 1 to 2 hours, sorry, आधे घंटे के अंदर the amount got credited back. My experience has probably been very different because I've lost
No, I
cards
think
and
one of
I've had
one
no
of one of these things they
one of
हमेशा
what.
होता है, even in US में होते हैं ऐसे चीजें. So it's not, it's human
Actually
tendency is to generalize, but
yeah,
things
that's
have
my
improved.
thing is
Yeah, things
2010
has
वगैरह
improved.
से
Absolutely, they
2010
have.
से 2020 तक, like it has changed drastically. India में that's why like, right now banking में, especially if you are with public भी हो private भी bank हो, they are much more responsive now because there are other options that customers have, I feel.
No,
Plus
they're
India still
responsive.
operates on cash, right? US में cash का वो बहुत कम है.
Relatively more, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
No, they're very responsive actually. what I feel is it takes a lot more time to get something
Yeah, it can definitely. It can
through.
take a lot more
Sure.
time,
Yeah,
but that time has reduced a lot 10 साल पहले से
yeah,
at least. That's for sure.
absolutely.
Hmm.
Akash, अब
Good
तुम
work.
बोल.
No,
Akash,
no,
what do
it
you
took
think
a
of Indian banking?
sorry, correction. It took a week for them to accept the that there was a problem on their side, and it took them 3 weeks to refund the money. So that essentially,
उतना
but they at least
but
accepted the
that's
problem
normal.
in a week.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
still normal. The fact that you got the money back, you should be happy, is what people would say.
No.
Yeah.
So
Akash,
Arnav, what is yours? I actually want to know what Arnav's is. You guys know mine. Arnav said he has a category, so that's why I want to.
Yeah, because I took this question quite seriously because Kevin ने जब बोला कि which product you won't invest in, right? So obviously buying तो बहुत दूर की बात है. Like even as a if I have किसी ने मुझे पैसे दिए हैं, if I have to invest this money, I think one category which I won't invest in is recreational drugs. At least in Western countries, it's becoming very common now. In majority of states, it's also legalized. US में, not
Mhm.
majority, but bunch of states, it has also been legalized. So that's one area which I won't go into because of ethical reasons. I know it can be relative, सबके लिए, but I think that
yeah.
that would be one thing because nowadays I think it's becoming too common. At least यहाँ पे US के, I can talk about US. Recreational drugs is becoming, and I think everyone has some sort of justification ki how it's good for you. But so far, at least I haven't found any scientific community or scientific members talking about if it's good for use on a daily basis or on a recreational basis. For medical
In
purposes, it's a separate
any
thing.
anything which crosses any applied limits से ज़्यादा, it's going to cause side effects, obviously. But I think there are enough studies that show that occasional use of recreational drugs में there are a lot of positives also. Athletes and उनके लिए जो physically exert कर रहे हैं अपने आप को, उनके लिए एक relieving element है उनका highly physical
Yeah.
But
sports
that's
में.
for the
There is a
pain
lot
and
of
everything, right? Because it helps them
exactly.
recover. But
Bhai,
that's not a normal population.
a
Even they
normal
say for mental issues as well
a
that
normal
it helps
yeah
them.
a
Yeah.
normal
Yeah.
human being who does anything excessively is going to have issues.
Yeah.
Anything.
No, and see all these jo bhi, if you read about all these documentation, it specifically like as you mentioned, right, athletes को recover करने के लिए है, mental illness
Mhm.
के लिए है. These are specific cases. If we are saying कि if it's majority of normal people अगर ये करने लग जाएंगे, so I मुझे पता नहीं उसका negative impact क्या है. I haven't done any research on it, but that's one thing which I have realized, like none of the at least doctors or medical मैंने जितना पढ़ा, none of them are saying कि oh yeah it's good for you.
No, but Arnav, I think that there are two just points in that, which is my I have agreed. अगर हम recreational drugs के positive and negative में जाएंगे तो it's a huge. I just have 2 points. First thing जो तूने बोला कि you are seeing a lot of its use in open and you have to understand it was hated and क्या कहते हैं it was demonized for so long. Just with
Mm-hmm.
anything, both extremes होते हैं. America spent and the world followed for like a lot of time such a blatant war on drugs that it was demonized for to such an extent that now the other opposite wave is also going to go to an extreme where
Yeah.
people balance their emotions. Second point is ki it as for the effects on it, we will only know that 5 to 10 years from now once people start actually realizing कि मुझ पे positive है. Because for me the best thing said about it was by ये जो रोगन के शो में जो एडी ब्रावो आता है who is like a conspiracy guy and वो he's next level on majority of things.
Hmm.
He was talking about how he started doing recreational drugs and why it worked for him, because he was like I started doing it at age 28 and I did it because after वो Brazilian jiu-jitsu practitioner है and he's a very famous teacher also. So
Mm-hmm.
he was like मेरे लिए it's like a very calming thing at the end of it that to deal with all my issues, but I was settled and set in life in my ways in life where मुझे पता है कि मैं exactly क्या कर रहा हूँ. And I
So
think
it's
that's where
essentially not. It's not that different from like having a glass of wine, right? Sorry, Amrit, if
exactly.
I
Yeah,
interrupted
no,
you.
no, no. But that's the point, Kevin. Moderation. That's why I said when Arnav
Mm.
point raised, anything in moderation is not as detrimental as when people start following a trend excessively. Then obviously because you don't know what the side effect will be, right? Because imagine हम चार करें, तीन ठीक है, but अब Arnav पे it has a detrimental effect. Everyone who knows Arnav will think now that it is something that has caused something bad, right? Three
No, I
of us
mean
can
Because
come
he's
out
a
of it
chain
and
smoker.
end of the day, if you rely on any external substance for any kind of effect, it's not going to work in long term. Where I
I think
human,
that's general. वो थोड़ा
कोई भी
generalized
ह्यूमैनिटी की
statement नहीं है
हिस्ट्री में
थोड़ा.
कोई भी ऐसा सब्सटेंस नहीं आया है which has, if you rely on it and it has worked in long run, and you can name any substance with
No, no,
it's never there.
substance. We realize rely on
Cocaine.
water. We realize water is an external substance, but it's
Not
part
for
of our
calming
fundamental
effect.
I
law.
There's a
No,
difference
water
between
is
perspective.
But we use it for thirst. No, I'm saying uh, any sort of okay. My point is essentially I'll just over dependence on anything. Yes, definitely wrong.
because when you
My only
categorize something
reason,
as recreational drugs, it becomes, especially in youth, that's my problem ki I don't think youth understands कि उसमें there's a fine line between just चलो एक हाथ बार कर लिया versus, and at least in यहाँ पे it's becoming a huge problem. At the same time, it's a growing market, so if I have to earn
indeed.
profit from it, it's a brilliant market to invest in, right? But at the same time उसके ethical reasons लगता है कि I don't know if people are educated enough to draw that fine line. That's
Amrit,
my
Yeah,
thinking.
actually, I wanted to say one more thing. I know in US it's officially a recreational drug and it's legal and everything, but it is a real problem because I I know someone over here who's in like a 10th standard kid, ninth or 10th mein they're studying, and they have tried it or they were caught at home because they had it in their bag. So whether you legalize it or not, this is Kerala, and they could find it in Cochin. So
Kevin. The statement you said.
so whether it's
Think
legalized or not, I don't think it's a big problem. I
the,
think it's educating the population's a bigger problem.
on what is going
Yeah.
to happen if you do it. Also, once you the thing is
Yeah.
the words you used is they were caught with it. Like Krypton के साथ पकड़े गए थे. They were caught with weed.
Krypton
And
के साथ पकड़े.
yeah, like
What?
it's like something that will cause instant death. Like जब हम the reason half the kids run towards or a younger child runs towards drugs is because everyone is telling them not to run towards it. It's the same reason as people
Yeah.
start out in smoking. Some people, I'm sure some all of you haven't. But like, क्योंकि तुम्हें बोला जाएगा कि तुम नहीं कर सकते, this is very bad. वो experimentation at that age is going to come. The problem will be over dependence that is built in a young age. That is definitely a thing.
Yeah.
That's there. कि like अगर certain एक तुम impressionable एक उस stage पे हो, just like everything else, like there is a legal alcohol limit, there is a legal wo limit,
But
and there is
I feel,
education about
I
it.
feel recreational
Probably
drug is
there.
not that different from alcohol as well. So basically, the
No,
same rules should apply, in my
exact
opinion.
same rule should apply.
You know,
You need to be a
there's a मुझे
certain age.
पता नहीं, इंटरेस्टिंग पॉइंट अभी अमृत ने सिगरेट्स का बोला. Is there a limit to buying a
No,
cigarette?
that's the irony of the entire thing, right?
That's the
You
funny
can
part.
easily.
कि
That's the
now
irony of
even a
the
kid
most.
is legally allowed to buy a cigarette.
Bro, weed से आज तक लोग apart from having spiked or bad weed, people don't end up like falling down. Tobacco
I thought
directly kills
18
you.
for cigarettes. It's 18, by the way,
It's
in
not
US
It
enforced
as
here.
well.
depends on in the
It's not
country. Yeah,
It's
in
not
enforced.
US.
I don't know. I don't think it's enforced कहीं पे भी.
Cigarettes is
Because I
not no, no,
remember, I
it
remember
might be enforced in certain places, but not everywhere
in
it
West
was.
Lafayette, I had bought once from an Indian store. Up, we all know this, right next to Noodles and Company, and they had asked for it. Apparently, the officials had told them that since they are in a college town, they have to ask for ID
Yeah, but
because there
Kevin,
can be people below
that's a
18.
very small part of the entire vote town. Na? I think if you
Yeah, I think
go out,
it's a rule, but it's not enforced. You are right.
it's not enforced. Cigarettes are not enforced ever,
So for
and
weed,
alcohol it
I was
is.
gonna. So for weed, there's no age. Is there an age restriction for who
I
can
think
buy
this
it?
Uh,
dispensary में I think you can still go. Cali में I think तुम्हारे पे वो age
no
limit नहीं
idea
है.
about मुझे उसके अराउंड के laws नहीं पता कि उसका एज
No, but
रिस्ट्रिक्शन
fair
क्या
enough.
है.
But I think fair enough. उसको Arnab says कि उसे recreational drugs में invest करने में I think
No, then that makes
that
sense.
makes
I
sense.
mean, so many celebrities have opened up their own
Yes,
weed
yes,
farms and been selling.
it's 21. It's 21. I
21.
just looked
Well,
it
that's
up.
good. That's
Because there's
good.
so many companies who are going to go big based on these products. So I mean, it's a
Yeah,
great money making machine, but
there's
it's
so
Yeah,
like
many
same as
celebrities
cigarette,
who have
right?
made money.
if you're ethically against it, then it makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, celebrities. Honestly, actually, when this topic came up, I didn't even think about drugs at all, which is weird. I've been thinking about
Yeah.
tech only.
Yeah,
But
Akash, what was your answer, Akash?
mine wasn't. There's no ethical thing related to it. Mine was more of a business thing. why you'd keep it away. So my item, the product was another Google product, which was called Project Ara. It wasn't released to the public at all. So this was basically a modular phone. So say you've got a Android phone.
अच्छा.
Imagine like, okay, you want to upgrade the camera, but you don't want to buy a whole new phone for that. So
तो तुम
this phone had like a tile design, and you could just remove the camera, put it on the side, and buy the upgraded piece of that hardware of the camera, and just slot it in, and you'll have a better camera
तो
attached to
नया
your phone.
कैमरा बहुत चीप होता है क्या?
It was just going to
मतलब
be like tiles. It's not like a new kind of.
Amrit, do you know Lego?
Yeah,
हाँ.
So essentially, it's the same concept. So everything is in a modular blocks, and you can attach them to build your phone in a way, right?
exactly.
So
Wait, but that would kill their business though.
That's what I was going to say. So the bad thing about this was a business thing.
Because I thought
It
the
would
entire
kill
purpose
the
was कि वो हमें नया phone खरीद रहा है. Because if Akash
yeah
what he's saying is true, I will just buy that phone. जब नया कैमरा निकलेगा, put a new camera, नई बैटरी आएगी, नया बैटरी डाल दूँ.
yeah.
फिर
So that was the thing.
they will run out
So
of business.
that's why that was my the business investing wise for business. I think for investors it might be good because this might be a long stable thing if this was
No,
actually a hit.
but
But there
but I
would
think they'll
not
just
be
overprice
Akash,
the
yeah there would. But then
attachments.
there's
replaceable
also a back
parts,
yeah
replaceable parts. In
they could
any business,
charge
the
on that.
number one
They'll
thing is you want them to come back and pay for
back
more,
yeah. So
not
there's
like
also that's
pay
going to be
for
the
one part of
backstabbing
it.
thing that the bad point about that was that there will not be any more phones. They will destroy the cell phone market basically. So
I
technology
mean,
like this
I don't
in a way.
think that's oversimplification of
Yeah, no,
what this
if this
project
works in
is,
a
right?
perfect world, if it worked in a perfect world,
Yeah,
like
No,
even
it
if
would
it works
it
in
not
a
could.
just a
perfect
perfect
world,
world. It would have to be like some blatant monopolistic competition also, because or other companies will modify their sales etiquette in one way or the other, and there is no guarantee. If there was no one except Google doing it and no other company made a phone, then yes, maybe it would destroy the cell
But do
phone
you
market
think like
completely.
if Google actually went through, so this product got shelved. There is a phone version of it. It's called the Fairphone by another company, and it wasn't as successful. But I think they said iFixit called it the rated it 10 out of 10 for easily to modify and repair because you can just remove parts and just put in whatever parts are certified easily which are found and just put it in. It wasn't as successful because it was like a budget phone. It was a very cheap phone, but Google was looking into this technology. There was an ad like Google Glass for it, and it was cool the way they showed it. So easy, just remove your part, you buy the upgraded part of the camera, and just slot it in, and your camera is now like a 12 megapixel
Can you
camera
change
whenever before.
battery? I would like to
Yeah,
very
battery,
specifically know.
even processor you could have changed, which is
Why there is
pretty huge.
why then I
So
don't think that would ever they wouldn't be allowed to. Their own team would tell them not to
yeah,
release it.
because it doesn't make sense from a business point of view for them, even if they do charge ridiculous amount
No,
on
this would be very good in a
replacement stuff.
utopian
Yeah,
situation, I think.
exactly. So
Yeah.
that's why mine was not ethical; it was more business type. But that would be a product I would invest in and buy because it's just cooler, more customizable phone. Not having to spend so much into a phone. Investing it wouldn't be a good decision, but buying as a consumer would be pretty cool.
Akash,
Yeah,
can you
Kevin.
change the screen as well?
I do not think the screen can be changed if I remember correctly from the thing.
It just feels very hard to
But
imagine. I mean, Lego wala example Arnav used is very good, but I still find it impossible to
I mean, look
even
up the
think.
ad. It's still on YouTube and everything. You can see the ad Project Ara ARA. It's very cool. Like the ad was showed. Obviously, they Google made was saying that they have a prototype, but they never showed the prototype to anyone.
I mean, these
They
kind of
approved the thing.
experiments are
Yeah,
always running in these big companies. So
always. Yeah,
there's nothing
Google is
like,
known for running all these experiments and everything
But
like
they
that, and then you
demonstrated
never
it.
hear. They demonstrated
Wow.
it as well. But the phone, actually, the actual prototype phone that eventually people saw was much bigger, obviously,
भाई वो
than
वो एक
because
नॉर्मल अपना सेल फोन नहीं बेच पाते गूगल वाले
yeah,
लोग ये क्या
the
बेचने
Nexus
जाएंगे
is such yeah, exactly. But this was such a cool concept and would actually make me consider from like switching to that because if you think
I
about
think
it,
the
just
Pixel, I think the
Kevin,
Pixel was a pretty big hit.
not
I mean,
really. I mean,
it's
none of
it's
their
not.
phones are a big hit.
No, I don't think you can compare it to
No,
Apple
so like,
sales because
yeah, Kevin, you
Android
have
has
a
too
point.
much competition.
Google
Okay,
found its niche,
this
na,
ad
in
is
like
this ad is odd, yaar.
it
I
is, na.
can't. Yeah, it looks. Yeah.
Was the screen, Amrit? Did they do? Is the screen removable
No,
as
not.
well, or
Oh yeah,
not the
no.
screen?
The front screen
The
is like
front
a
screen.
box.
Yeah.
Yeah. This
I
is.
mean,
I mean,
more than business marketing, it's a more of a technical challenge how
Yeah.
to
yeah.
make these things
And I
work and
don't
how
think
to
they
make
were.
these
Yeah.
things work at a
Akash, I'm very
efficient level.
happy I saw that ad because of you, but I don't understand. Like, it just doesn't seem that seems like an episode of Black Mirror. Like
It
the
does,
way
na,
they
because
pull it out
yeah.
and everything, super cool.
But it was. I remember me and Arnav talked about it when it was released. Like the talks were released. I think Arnav, me and you were talking about it once. We said it
Mhm.
would be very cool if it happened, but nothing happened at all
Yeah.
with it
Yeah,
much.
because उसके
It
साइड में
finished
सारे
out.
वीडियोस में टेक्निकल गुरुजी का वीडियो है ये बोलते हुए कि मॉड्यूलर फोन्स आर डेड. अब
Yeah,
उन्होंने कह दिया तो
technical Guruji. But
That guy
yeah,
is very interesting, technical Guruji.
I've never seen. But
मस्त
yeah, it
ये
was been very
अबे
interesting product actually. Like
Yeah,
like
आकाश.
Kevin said about the Nexus. Kevin, Google found its niche because in the Nexus by offering like a not overly expensive one like Apple does, and not very cheap. It found its niche in the middle somewhere.
अबे
That
इस
okay,
साल
these
उनका
people buy for
उनके
this
उनका
price.
उनका रिलायंस के साथ अभी फोन आने वाला है ना, नया जो वो बोल रहे हैं अफोर्डेबल एंड्रॉयड फोन जो पूरे इंडिया में बेचा जाएगा गूगल और इनका
तो गूगल ने
जियो
जियो
का.
में
Actually,
पैसे डाले हैं ना भाई.
Arnav's Google has sold 7.5 million pixels. That's pretty considerable considering Apple is selling 14.5. So that's a
केविन,
considerable amount of sales
नंबर
is
वापस
there.
पढ़. तो वो गूगल का एक फोन है विच इज इन अ वेरी वेरी कॉम्पिटिटिव मार्केट. उसके साथ सैमसंग है, वन प्लस है, देयर सो मेनी
Yeah,
ऑफ देम.
so but it's I mean they're still selling. You cannot say that they are not nowhere close. They are
But
that's
Google has stopped
No,
50%
spending money
quantity
on their
wise.
they
phones.
are nowhere close. Yeah, they
They've
उनका
not
वो
stopped
business,
investing for a bit.
they know कि it's not going to work out for them,
Yeah.
so they are not investing into that field anymore.
If
Not
if you look
much.
at their newest phone, it's
wait
not very
they
good
they don't make phones
at all.
anymore.
No,
No,
they
they
do
do,
make
but
No,
it's
they are
phones,
making.
but they have realized it's not their primary wo. So
yeah.
I
they are.
I personally think the Pixel was the
how do you
smoothest Android
how
phone
do you know
Oh
because
yeah,
they
they
in
were
terms
realize?
of
composite.
Android, they're doing well now. They
No,
are
no,
much better
Arnav,
than
why did you say that उनको realize हो गया कि फोन नहीं चल रहा?
because
Phone नहीं
not
चल
many
रहा
people are
है.
buying it, right? क्योंकि जिस
Yeah.
market
Why?
में है वो it's a very very
No, that
competitive
is
market.
no, but
यहाँ पे तो
that is
काफी
why
लोग
I'm
खरीदते हैं.
correcting. 7.5 million sales is pretty high.
But
They're not.
Kevin,
compared
It's
they
not
to
are
like
its
nobody's
competitors,
buying.
Kevin, number of people जो phones buy करते हैं वो चेक कर सैमसंग के सेल्स, वन प्लस के सेल्स, यू विल बी
it's not a
शॉक्ड.
viable option for them. They're better off
Yeah.
just leasing their Android OS to everyone and let them use it. They're making
So
more money
it's
on
not like
that.
they're doing bad. It's like they're doing average
No, but I
as
feel they
compared
are
to like
much
all.
newer to the market, so it's going to take them time if they do
Also,
decide to go that way, or they
Nexus
can do the
phones,
Android software way, like you said. They might
Nexus
as well
phones
just
have
go to
never
software.
been great. I mean, like even that MKBHD
बकवास था.
used to say,
मेरा
yeah,
नेक्सस टूट गया था भाई. बहुत गंदा फोन है.
he
No,
used
but
to
the
say the
पिक्सल, उनका पिक्सल वाले अच्छे हैं. जो पिक्सल की रेंज आई है,
Yeah,
those
I
are much
prefer the
better.
Pixel range.
yeah
I
the
actually had a
Pixel.
Nexus, and then I switched to Pixel, and I actually liked it.
The Pixel now is a budget phone. Now it's become more.
Thing is there's always a category जहाँ पे company वो area crack नहीं कर पाती. Same for Apple. Apple is
Yeah,
not good in certain things. Same as Google is not good in certain things. So
I don't know what are
Yeah,
the things Apple is not good at.
cloud services, software,
oh, suck at cloud.
they are
But
struggling. I mean, first of all, if you think of all these top four, Google,
can
Amazon, and Microsoft, they all have their own cloud
can
services.
I can
Apple
I
का अब
say
तक नहीं
where
है.
can I say where Apple is struggling? Their naming methodology, man.
you
What the
might see
fuck is
Apple
this
struggle.
Pro Max?
Apple Car will be coming out. Maybe
Apple has
you
been
never know.
always great in terms of hardware and design, but so as Kevin said, Google is trying to go into hardware, Apple is trying to go into software. So they are releasing this Apple TV Plus,
Hmm.
iCloud के updated versions, Apple Pay. So they are coming
मेरा
into all
तो
these software
मेरा
services,
तो
but
मेरा तो 5 साल से iCloud full है. पता नहीं क्या है उसके अंदर.
yeah,
Because you're not
delete
paying.
करते
They
हैं.
want you to pay for it, no? They want you to pay for iCloud storage more. So they keep reminding you your iCloud's full pay.
वो ऐसे डायरेक्टली क्यों नहीं बोलते. हर बात
I
पे बोलते
feel
फुल है.
I feel the privacy is where Apple is way
Best,
ahead.
probably.
I
Yeah,
Oh,
mean,
hands
yeah,
down. Yeah.
भाई
definitely.
स्नोडन
absolutely.
ने बोला था कि जो हैकिंग हुई थी उसमें आईफोन के सॉफ्टवेयर अपडेट के साथ हैकिंग हुई थी. ऐसा स्नोडन ने बोला, मैंने नहीं. उससे पूछ.
Very.
Recently,
Amrit, can you
Apple and
care to elaborate on that point? How did the hacking take place on Apple?
जो रोगन ने बोला कि स्नोडन हैकिंग कैसे होती है. स्नोडन बोलता, देख भाई मैं समझाता हूँ तुझे, सुन. उसने बोला ऐसा तुम्हारा फोन है ना स्मार्टफोन्स, तो उसने बोला हाँ स्मार्टफोन्स है हमारे पास. उसने बोला स्मार्टफोन्स एप्पल्स वाले स्मार्टफोन्स में अपडेट आता है, और जो जिनके पास भी एप्पल है वो तो हर बात पे टर्म्स एंड एग्रीमेंट बिना पढ़े हाँ बोलते हैं, क्योंकि नियत ही खराब है ना, इसलिए. तो उसमें करो, जैसे तुम एक्सेप्ट दबाओ उसी वक्त हैकर तुम्हारे फोन के अंदर घुस गया, मानो तुम्हारे घर के अंदर है वो. ही इज इन द बेड विथ यू. समझ आया?
Amrit
तो
is talking
हैकिंग
like that
फिर
that
हैकिंग
video,
होती है.
YouTube video that cloud, the battery को destroy करना है and
अरे
everything.
स्नोडन भाई बोल रहे हैं ना, रशिया से बैठ के सारा अच्छा इन्फॉर्मेशन मिलता है रशिया में.
It's like
रशिया से
cloud
तो
में अगर
फोन के
आप
अंदर
डेटा
घुस गया.
डालोगे तो अगर बारिश होगी तो क्या होगा?
हाँ. और
It's
स्नोडन
like
भाई ने
that
बोला
video.
जैसे अपडेट हुआ, ऊपर से पानी गिरा, क्लाउड से सॉफ्टवेयर और क्लाउड सब गिर गया, बस काम खत्म.
बकवास.
बात खत्म भाई, बात खत्म. वही है, बट
वैसे
दैट्स
अब
एग्जैक्टली
I
व्हाट ही
love
सेड.
how
he
oh,
he didn't say an Android update. He said that it's an Apple software update which causes in that session. I was like, oh, that I genuinely assumed that Apple was safer, but
I love like Amrit used to think in university hacking was that green screen with green font like the Matrix used to come up. That the
yeah, and I
coded one.
actually
Amrit used
realized
to think it was so
I
cool.
when I realized when I realized how actually boring coding is, I was like, the Matrix
Yeah.
had the best way of showing it.
There's just random symbols just falling from on the top of the screen. Okay,
Anna, please
guys, we're gonna
upload
end
it
the podcast.
immediately.
Hi, hi. Okay, guys, we're gonna end the podcast right here. Thank you for listening. As usual, you guys know we are available on Google
वैक्सीन आ गया.
Podcast, Apple Podcast,
वैक्सीन आ गया.
Spotify,
हैप्पी डेज सबके
and
घर पे वैक्सीन आ गया.
YouTube. And yes, the vaccine has come. Very good, very good. Has
बारे
it
में
come
बात
to your
करनी
house,
चाहिए थी.
Samrit? Has it come to your house, Samrit?
हाँ, अभी चल के आ गया.
Acha, theek hai. Until next time, guys, take care and stay safe. Bye bye.
Because you didn't
And
say
from
wash those hands.